Hey there guys, how are you all doing? It's Steven here. Welcome to the weekend. Manchester City play Rotherham tomorrow, but before that I still want to talk about Manchester City Liverpool because that was dead good. If you haven't already, go and check out my match reaction and the vlog I did from the game. And also don't forget this channel is sponsored by OneFootball for January, the wonderful people over at OneFootball. So go and download that app in the link in the description below because it's really good, I promise you. It's like my favourite app for football, definitely, and it's free and it helps support this channel. So what more of a reason do you need? Go and check it out below. But before we close the door on the Liverpool game, there is still a few things I want to talk about. So today I'm going to do 5 things that we learned or at least experienced. And the first thing I want to talk about is your man Bernardo Silva. Now I know it's been covered quite a lot, but I just want to say once again how outstandingly good he is. We all know Fernandinho works like a warrior, but Bernardo Silva in particular, he was absolutely phenomenal. What we learned about him is that he has the desire and the leader to be a future captain, in my personal opinion. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. He led from the front. It wasn't the kind of game where you had to be silky, skillful, darting past players. There was plenty of that, in particular for the first goal, but it was a game about his determination, his desire. Man, that guy is Forrest Gump. He's the Duracell bunny on steroids. He just runs and runs and runs. Some say he's still running now after that game. He was just so good, and it was his passion, his intensity. Certain players have this ability to set the standard, and he did that. He did that on Thursday night. He was just fantastic, and for me, I could probably see him doing an alright job in a very desperate situation, kind of holding at number 6. The way he worked, the energy, it was like Kante-esque. I'm not saying he's a solution there because he doesn't have the physicality, in my personal opinion, to be that long-term solution. But in the game, if we needed him, it'd be totally fine. The next player I want to talk about is you lot, you guys. Myself, the rest of you, the fans. Oh my God, how good were they? And the whole cliche about being a 12th man, that has never been more true than it had been on Thursday night. The place was absolutely rocking. It was electric. I had goosebumps, stood there watching that unfold. The passion, the intensity, the cries of angst and joy as the match unfolded. I've not seen anything like that since maybe Hamburg, the infamous Hamburg game at the Etihad a long time ago. And I just wish it could be like that every single week. Now, I'm a realist. It probably isn't going to be, because that was a perfect storm of a scenario. You can't have that intensity, that desire every single week, because mainly the games don't matter as much. With all due respect to Rotherham, I think there's nowhere near as much riding on this game as there was against Liverpool. There's an apathy towards teams we have no problem with. Why would we go aggressive towards Bournemouth fans, for example? We're not going to be. I do wish it could be, but this was a game where there was a rivalry brewing. This is a game where it meant something. This was a game against the Scousers, and we wanted to beat them because we didn't like them largely, and it was important. Now, I do think there can be a middle ground. I do think we can sit there sometimes and maybe just wait for things to happen. I wish we could get more fired up because we can make a difference as fans and we can influence the players, and it does work. We all know that's true. It was genuinely awe-inspiringly good. It was just so loud, so much that even Gary Neville had to mention it in his commentary. It was fantastic, and hopefully it's just a sign of the future. The third thing we learned, as we all know, it ain't over. It ain't over, Jurgen Klopp. It ain't over, boys. We are coming for you at a time when we needed a big performance, at a time where we needed a game to get our form back to where it should be. We stepped up, and how did we step up? We stepped up so good. We told them that we are not going to lay down and die. We are going to fight till the end, which is Manchester City through and through. And now, more than anything, we have the chance to really claw back that lead. Liverpool will be scared now. They will be thinking, oh, we're not unbeaten. We're not invincible. We can drop points. And all we've got to do now is be 4 points better off than them at the end of the season. There's so much football to play for. I definitely think we can do it. We just need them to slip once, and they've got a history of doing that, and then all of a sudden we'll just claw it back. As soon as there's 2 points, in my opinion, we're going to win the league after that point. If we get to there, we can do it, and it's not over. The next thing, I want to give Pep some credit, because Pep's got a bit of stick recently. Some of it's definitely been earned, but I thought his decision making was absolutely fantastic. To pull out a lineup like that with Laporte at left back in particular, Kompany there, a man that many people think is past it, and Danilo at right back, it just worked. It was an incredible bunch of decision making, and the way he got the players to believe in his system, the way he got the players fired up, and his intensity on the sidelines. I was sat like 15 metres away from him, watching him go for it, and those players were reacting to everything he did, everything he said. He just nullified Liverpool's fantastic attack so well. Yeah, they created some chances, but they're too good not to. In general, he got the better of his opponent. He got his players working harder. They wanted it more, and his tactics, his decisions to close down certain players, his decisions to play Laporte and nullify Salah, just absolute genius, and that is why he's the best manager in the world. Finally, the hard work. That was the most hard-working I've ever seen a Guardiola team. Genuinely, that was a different kind of Guardiola team. We've seen Guardiola teams win with style and grace and grandeur and all this epic free-flowing football. Just beautiful to watch. But this was that. But it was a different side to that. It was a tenacious side to that. It was ferocious. It was nasty. It was downright ugly at times. And I'm glad it was. Sometimes you got to kick a team. Sometimes you got to let them know that you're there for a fight. And that isn't usually a Guardiola kind of thing. You think of his teams, you don't tend to think of this kind of niggly ferocity. But this was a game summed up by Bernardo and Kompany and Fernandinho and all these players snapping into tackles. You got Leroy Sane, one of the most gifted wingers in the world, tracking back and physically out-muscling Salah off the ball. They were all at it. They were all ferocious into the tackle. Stones being an absolute warrior. This was a game built on grit and determination, and it was a different side that we've seen from Manchester City this season. And there you have it, guys. Just 5 talking points. And now I want to briefly touch on the Rotherham game tomorrow. This is going to be interesting, isn't it? Essentially, they're 21st in the Championship at the moment. On paper, this looks like it'll be a walk in the park. Now, I can't pretend to be an expert on Rotherham's current form, the way they play or their style, but surely we should be able to beat them. I'm expecting a hugely changed team, given the games we've had and given the fact that we've got a semi-final coming up. It is Burton, but it's still a big game. Get to Wembley, got to win it. And I think we'll see, essentially, a whole rotated 11. Now, certain players will be available, certain players won't. Certain academy players will be available. As I'm recording this video, the EDS are playing. Unfortunately, for us, Eric Garcia is playing in that game, so as is Felix the Mature, so those two won't be involved. But in terms of people I expect to be, I reckon it'll be Muric in goal. He's going to start this one, in my personal opinion. Then I think we'll see Walker come back in, Otamendi, and we could see Sandler, the young lad that we got over from the Netherlands in the summer. He could play for the first team. It could be Laporte or Stones there, or even Kompany. But it could be Sandler. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? I think Zinchenko will start the game at left back, given the fact that he's not played in the last game. And then in midfield, I think it kind of picks itself. There's no Gomez because he's playing for the EDS as well, so I'm not expecting any academy players to be involved in midfield. I reckon it'll be Gundogan holding, then De Bruyne and Foden, that wonderful little kind of pivot there. Those two essentially leading our attacks. Then this up front where it gets a bit more interesting. There was no Matondo in the squad today for the EDS and no Ian Carlo Poveda either. Two players are usually involved at this level, so maybe they'll be involved. I suspect one of them will be. Bernabé as well. Bernabé. I can't say it. Ali Bernabé. Yeah, nah, not him. Anyway, Bernabé, the young attacking gifted playmaker, was also not involved in the ES. And any of those three could be involved in the squad tomorrow. Personally, I think Bernabé will be on the bench, and then we might see Poveda start. I think Poveda's probably earned it. He's one of the players of the last round of the Checker J Trophy with a fantastic performance, a couple of goals. And I think Poveda is next in line to kind of take up that Brahim slot. Brahim is going, unfortunately. So if anyone's earned it, it's probably Matondo or Poveda. But I think Poveda might get an actual surprise start with Mahrez on the right and Gabriel Jesus in the middle. But it'd be nice to see a couple of academy lads involved tomorrow. I think the likes of Matondo, Poveda, Bernabé, they probably earned it. In general, it'd be nice to see Sander as well, see what the fuss is about with him. Anyway, guys, that's just some thoughts on the Rotherham game. I suspect we'll win. I hope we'll win. If you're at the ground tomorrow, say hello if you see me and Nicola knocking about. And also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you do. Go and download One Football in the description below. And go and check out my other content from the Liverpool game. Anyway, I've been Stephen. In a bit.